When you consider bleaching your hair, you consider adding a perm to your hair, you consider the heat. Those three things can be quite. How do you style your hair? Do you use heat on your hair? Do you use processing like perms, alkali perms? Do you use bleach on your hair? If you're using any of those three things that we just named, they can be really, really hard on your hair. They can really compromise the strength of your hair and decrease the elasticity. They can decrease the moisture that's in your hair. And overall, the overall health of your hair can really be compromised when you're using very high heat, when you're using chemicals that are very alkaline or more basic, or if you're using bleaches on your hair. Bleach, of course, is a base. So, and the reason being is that our bodies in general love to be in a more acidic type of zone. So we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later, but there's a neutral zone, which is like 7 for pHs. And then there's very acidic, which is between like 0 and up to 6.999. And then more of the alkaline side is more like a basic. So if you think of basic, you can think of baking soda, right? If you think of acid, you think of like apple cider vinegar. Those two things are very different in how your hair and your body responds to them. But our hair at least prefers to be more on the acidic side. So we just slightly acidic to be more healthy. So when you're choosing these things that you put on your hair, you want to choose things that are going to keep your hair super healthy. And one reason that we want to consider that is that if you're using something that's more basic, then it's not really the best pH for your hair, if you will. It can cause the cuticles on your hair, and the cuticles basically are the outer part of your hair. So if you think about this, there are 3 different parts of the hair. There's the cuticle, there's the cortex, and then the inner part of the hair, which is where the follicle is. And so if you think about, if you eat a M&M candy, right, you have a candy coated shell, right? The outer part of it is what you would consider to be more like the cuticle. So the crunchy candy part that say melt in your mouth, not in your hand from M&M's, that part would be more of the cuticle if you think of how your hair is created or how it looks close up. So the cuticle of your hair is supposed to be, you can either have it to lie down or the cuticles can be pulled up or made to open up, if you will. So depending on whether you're using acidic or basic types of products, your cuticles can lie down. So one thing you want to consider if you're going to straighten your hair and you want it to be nice and shiny, you want to use products that are going to make your cuticles lie down. When they lie down, you get you get a shinier finish to your hair. If you want to open the cuticle up, you want to be able to open it and infuse moisture into that hair, into the hair strand. So there are different type of set of products that you use for that. So all that to say, acidity does matter. You're having something that is the correct pH for your hair does matter. So that is really important when you consider bleaching your hair, you consider adding a perm to your hair, you consider the heat. Those 3 things can be quite damaging. So you want to be really careful when using those on your hair. So that's the next part there. So we did our foundation, which is our shampoo, conditioner, having a cosmetologist. The next thing we want to, of course, make sure that we're not damaging the hair, making sure that when you're using products on your hair, that they're done by a licensed cosmetologist. You don't want to take the risk of trying to perm your hair or trying to bleach your hair or trying to color your hair and it damage your hair. So if you're going to do those processes, just make sure that you are going to a licensed cosmetologist that knows how to deal with hair that is like your hair. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. This is Dr. Dwella Moten Nelson, your healthy scalp specialist. Thanks.